Hello, my beautiful friends. This message is for all of the powerful light workers out there. And it was coming through really strongly to share this message. I do feel like being a light worker, life can be the hardest on us. um, it can just be full of challenges. And I think that because we feel so deeply and just are transmuting so much in this life that, maybe other people don't really understand, or they think we're being dramatic, or yeah, it's like everyone's on a different path, right? So this message is coming through kind of as some like cheerleading for us. I don't want to say cheerleading. What's another word? Like just motivation or inspiration or affirmation for us. So let's get started. So basically, this life, every life is just this story, this journey of growth, of growing through uncomfortable things to expand our souls, to learn lessons, and to just really ultimately ascend, to heal, grow through all these things. So the past life issue is coming up because this is showing us that whatever we're facing now is something that's come up for us time and time again. It's like from the very beginning, we started having X number of lessons to learn. Let's say, 500 lessons to learn. And as we go through the first life, maybe we kind of just tackle the big ones. It's like we meet people in this life that know, not in a bad way, but just like know maybe like less than we do. And it's clear, and it's not bad, it's just younger, right? It's like a kid, like a child, that they just need to learn, in growing through this life. They need to learn things that we learned a long time ago. So it's the same kind of thing. So as we get more kind of like deeper, as we get deeper and further along into our journey, we have now different things to focus on. We are, like I said, as healers, just transmuting so much. So everything that's coming up in this lifetime, and you should know that it's really difficult. It can be very, very strenuous, difficult, stressful, emotionally draining, exhausting, depleting, depressing, all of these things. And the main message here is is how important this work is that we're doing. Because maybe somebody that's a kind of younger soul, they're working on themselves, and at this point it's like kind of the light workers, it's like we've done a lot of work on ourselves, and in this life, while we're still working on ourselves, we're also healing the whole and the collective and transmuting a lot. So just don't ever forget that, that's what you're here to do. And even when it gets hard, just keep going. Keep going through it. So the first two cards are just kind of overarching, kind of like big picture ideas. So when we get into the Two of Cups, this is looking at how impactful the relationships in our life can be. And to remember that first and foremost, our main relationship is with Source, the universe, divine, and that each person that we meet is just one like micro expression of the divine. So knowing that any relationship that we have is not this like absolute, even if it's a soulmate, it's not, oh, this person is everything, right? It's like this person is wonderful, yes, and is here to teach us and to help us grow, and to sometimes accompany us for part of this journey, or a lot of this journey. But the Two of Cups is just pointing to the importance and significance, beauty, explorative spaces that we can experience in relationships, and how they help us through our journey. Then we look at the Two of Wands, and this is looking at, ooh, so it's kind of like this whole thing here um, is kind of like its own little roller coaster. So when we're looking at the Two of Wands, this is touching on, so kind of imagine maybe you've gone through a cycle. This is kind of the beginning of a cycle, the beginning of life, even, you could say. But it's like looking out at the expanse and kind of just maybe having an idea of some decisions that we can make, um, having different options, but not fully knowing which one to make, just kind of scoping things out and waiting, deciding, kind of speculating. And that's really, what we can do. And then the universe, I feel, no matter what choice we make, I do feel it's the right choice. We're led to make this certain decision for some reason. And that gets us on a path of learning. It teaches us something. And then look how painful this looks. Holy cow. So this is the Ten of Swords, and this is showing us that sometimes we make a decision and then it just, wow, blows up in our face. It feels terrible. It has a horrific ending. It's painful. It's not what we wanted. And every little lesson, every one of these stab wounds, it feels really unexpected. So I think taking that in stride, just the seeming failures and how painful it's our pain that we take on that really allows us to grow the most, which kind of sucks to hear sometimes, but it's true. um, if you kind of imagine, maybe this life of total bliss and nothing really going wrong, it's great. It's really nice to experience that. And not a ton of growth will happen. We don't get the juice, the most juice out of that kind of experience. We get the juice and the big movements out of hardship and learning from that, and transcending it, really letting our souls grow. And I think that one of the lessons that some of us have learned is, instead of becoming bitter at some painful experience, we take this wise approach. And that's one form, that's one kind of method that some people learn in that way. And then it's kind of like, after we come out of those situations, after we've healed or at least gotten through the big pain parts, now we're kind of ready. We're like, all right, I've got fresh energy. I'm kind of ready to charge out. I'm ready to, it feels like a lot of energy, but not really knowing what to do with it. And it feels like we're just kind of out there and ready to play, ready to just go for it, ready to explore and have new great experiences. And yeah, and sometimes there is a little bit of uncertainty there, and sometimes it takes time for things to unfold. And sometimes we just kind of have no idea what the hell we're doing. It's all a kind of a shot in the dark. And the universe is saying to be patient during those times and to let the energies play out. So when we feel something, kind of not trying to stop it, but just letting things, not trying to control everything, not trying to to keep a grip on any outcomes, but to let the energy express itself. Because when we let the energy express itself, then it goes where it needs to go. In our healing journey, the things that we need to learn will come up inevitably. So when we constrict our energy flow, it makes it harder for these things to happen. And when we kind of let go and release and allow for our energy to be expressed and to go the natural way, think about a river, think about damming a river, versus just letting it flow exactly where it needs to flow, and think of the velocity that happens when the river can do that. So that's kind of a process all on its own. And then we get to the Knight of Cups. And these are the parts where things are working out. We find our passions. And it's really like through this journey, it's through this, maybe indecision and uncertainty, but then going out to take action, things kind of blowing up in our face sometimes. Having this kind of this newfound energy, and then playing with that, and then it just eventually, and maybe not even in this order, right? We get to this Knight of Cups that, yeah, we just find our passions, we find our emotional soft space. We feel great in our hearts. We connect with others. We feel very connected. We feel blissful and in purpose and just really emotionally fulfilled. And we have to really just, we wish that it was kind of always that way, right? But we just really, we grow in those moments and we appreciate those moments too. These moments, the Knight of Cups, brings us closer to who we are and shows us clarity on ourselves. It's like during these hard moments, really this uncertainty and hard moments, it shows a big contrast to who we are and what we want and what we don't want. And then we get in the moments of beauty where we're really connected to who we are. And that's just, it's so validating for us and shows us a lot of ourselves as well. And the last message that I want to leave you with, so this eight of arrows or Eight of Swords, this one talks about, sometimes just feeling like there's no way out. And she's got her eyes covered. She feels surrounded by swords. The idea is if she were to open up her eyes, she could realize that she would just walk, get up and walk away. But sometimes it takes time for things to work themselves out and for things to become clear. And sometimes it just really does feel like there's nowhere to go, nowhere to move, no way out. So these moments, universe is saying, spirit is telling us, these are the ones that you want to hold as gifts, as maybe painful as that might be to do. It's like having the willpower and determination and patience during those moments, being really present to that there is going to be a shift and it's not always going to be this way, but to know that in these moments, they're the moments of the biggest learning. So just know that if you're in a space like this, whether it be now or in the future, that it's a big time of learning for you, and it's just kind of like universe giving tough love in a way. It's your soul going through growing pains. So know that all these things that we're experiencing, it's a really normal human thing to be experiencing. It's not necessarily fair, but in a way, it's like we did sign up for this, and we want everything to just be beautiful, but definitely have our fair share of going through some pain and just kind of seeing the beauty and the darkness in the whole of the experience. Not ever anything being in absolutes. So, taking everything in stride and knowing what you're here to do, and just kind of holding your own heart as you go through these difficult moments. So, I hope this was a good reading for you and clarifying and helpful. I also have my website listed below, and if you guys are in need of a reading, I have I'll have the link, and then, when you go to the website, there's the different services that are there, so you can choose one, and I would be happy to be of assistance and service. So thank you so much for listening, and again, I hope this was helpful. So much love to you guys, and good luck, and keep your beautiful heads up high.